Hey, they say the moon landing was fake. JFK, man, they wanted him erased. Aliens and bunkers, government lies, chemtrails painting secrets in the skies. It's a co-host, dual voice or the code, digging through the chaos down every dark road. New world order, we taking names. Bigfoot's real and he knows the game. Conspiracy chaos where the truth gets wild. From pyramids to lizard kings in exile. They hide it all, but we pull the thread. So buckle up tight, it's all in your head. Conspiracy chaos where the truth gets wild. From pyramids to lizard kings in exile. They hide it all, but we pull the thread. So buckle up tight, it's all in your head.
This is Conspiracy Chaos. Truth, fiction, or both? Let's dive in.
Let's go. We're back with another episode of Conspiracy Chaos. My name is RGB. Joining me as always got my co-host Florida Mike and Area 51 Anthony. What's up, boys?
Fellas.
What's going on?
What's happening? What's happening?
Dodging poison out here.
Yeah, I seen the pictures today. Mike was getting sprayed pretty good out there down in Florida. But tonight's episode, boys, we're gonna dive into the occult. Joining us here tonight from the Occult Rejects, we got our guy Nick and the Headless Giant. What's up, boys? Appreciate you guys jumping on.
What's going on?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I just came across your guys' stuff about a month or so ago.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I know, man. I'm missing out, but you know the good thing is I have a lot of content to catch up on, so it's pretty cool. I was listening to a Gematria episode. I think Nick, you were doing the Gematria stuff today. I was listening to that one from the beginning of the year.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Nice, thank you.
Yes, sir. Diving into that. That's always a fun topic because the numbers can really lead you anywhere. Yeah. But let's start off with get to know you guys a little bit. How'd you guys get into the podcast game, and why did you decide to go down the occult?
Well, Hellas, you want to actually take that first? Because I don't even think I really know your story, Hellas. This is interesting for me. So I've been podcasting for guy for 3 years and haven't asked him too much personal shit. I don't care.
I got in it because I was listening to people's podcasts like Nick over here, and I'm like, well, I should be doing that too. I know a lot about this stuff. I've been studying it since I was a kid. So, you know, I got in contact with him. I got in contact with a couple other people, and I just started, you know, sharing my own knowledge about what I knew and all the stuff that I had studied, and they liked it, so I stuck around.
Nice. Well, what about you, Nick?
For me, I guess getting into the podcasting community, I guess because of the occult was because of me. I was in the OTO for like about 5 or 6 years, and I had experience with that. I left, and I kind of wanted to cover my experience and talk about magic and occultism, in different aspects, like what it is and isn't. People are very confused, I think, especially in the conspiracy community. Like they just everything's dicks and demons, which it's not. So I kind of wanted to have a show for that. And to help people understand some of the basics. And, I had a co-host that I originally started with, lasted about a year and a half, found out he was a pathological liar and kicked him off the show. And eventually, in looking for other people, I had Hellas suggested to me, and here he is with me years later.
Off you go. Yep.
Yeah, we have other people now, but still, I mean, he's been, for a long time.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the cool thing is about the conspiracy community, man, that I've noticed we've been doing this about, we're almost a year in. Mid-February will be a year for us. But we also, me and Anthony, do golf podcast, and the support you get on the conspiracy side of things opposed to the golf side of things is night and day. It's so crazy. It really is. Like you get those country club guys opposed to just some regular fucking people. And it makes a big difference for sure.
The conspiracy, what I noticed is the conspiracy guys want to get their story out as well. They want to talk about it as much as possible, whatever they believe in, and the golf guys kind of just want to, if you ask a professional golfer to come on the podcast, good luck, because they're out there golfing 7 days a week, practicing, and they want nothing to do with you, so it's like, that's kind of why, Raj, I feel like they it's different for sure, but we get a ton of support for sure. It's awesome.
We do. It's pretty cool on the conspiracy side of things. But what was some of the big, what was the reason you guys decided to go like occult? There's 1,000 topics and conspiracy side of things you could go. What was the main reason you guys decided to Headless Giant? You said you've been, researching it your whole life. What made you dive into it?
Well, first and foremost is joining the army. That really sort of opened my conspiracy third eye. Is joining that and seeing, oh wait, no, everything is really fucked up from the top down. Everything isn't really the way that they say it is, and joining this organization was probably a pretty bad idea. But again, if you don't have the good information going in, you're not going to be able to make the right decisions coming out, and that's the problem we've basically always had as a species. Is whenever we're dealing with each other, there's really nothing that we can be 100% sure about. And what we find is that the more we dig, the looser that ground gets, and the more we find out that we've been lied to pretty much every step along the way. So one of the things I focus on mainly is supposedly a defunct civilization, something that went belly up back in 2,000 years ago, which was the Canaanite Phoenicians, right? We have so many different Canaanite Phoenician influences in our lives today, but we don't make that association because this empire is supposedly gone. Is it really gone, or did it just change form? So that's really what I focus on, is the ancient world, classical antiquity, and the conspiracies of the classical world, which there's a lot of them, and how that relates to where we're living at today. And unfortunately, there's a lot of crossover. And once you bring it up, people are like, I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's like when you bring up Tartaria to people, like when you bring up Old World, made me think Tartaria. When you bring that up to people, they look at you like you're fucking crazy to a regular person. I was just down in New York City about a month ago. I had to go down to court, and I'm down there taking videos of the courthouse just because of the structure and the architecture, the doorways,
right?
25-foot doorways. I'm 6'2". I walk through that just fine. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was the same when I lived in Chicago. And you're going down Michigan Avenue, and you see these big, giant stone buildings, and you see like today's architect or what everybody remembers. And you're like, there's no way the same two people built this, or it's just the art and how they constructed things were amazing. And that's why I love Chicago, because of just the buildings regular humans didn't build.
Well, it's mind-blowing that they say that it was all built from like the 1880s to the present. And like, there's a lot more history that goes into these Midwest towns than just the 1880s. But it seems like uniformly across the board from one side of the country to the other, it's 1880s is the build point for everything. And all these exceptional buildings that seem to pop up out of nowhere, they were all built back then and they can't build them today. So there's something strange going on with that whole connection and with the roots of American history. And I think part of the problem is inflation. Inflation is like a brain drain. So all of these magnificent pieces of architecture are built with very special materials that cost a lot of money. And when you inflate those materials out of your price range, you're not going to be building the same things anymore. In fact, it's going to be a lot more basic and it's going to be a lot dumber. So all of this really smart stuff is priced out of our price range, and all the really dumb stuff is the only stuff that gets built. So we're looking around thinking everything is different, but we've gotten dumber, significantly dumber, just in the time that those buildings were built to today.
And they did it with less equipment. They didn't have the equipment we have today.
Right.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's
right.
I mean,
cranes and everything else.
What gets me was the World's Fair, was that around like the late 1800s as well? I mean, what gets me is that they build those and then they tore them down. Like it was like they were supposedly built with paper mache. Like, come on. Like, I don't believe it. They
can't produce any of the paper mache or actually show it in any of the pictures, but they're like, no, these were all just facades. They weren't real. And it's like, well, you're just making assertions here. Let's actually see some evidence. Let's see some receipts. But they're always light on the receipts. And in some ways, how are they saving receipts from over 100 years ago? At the other time, you'd think that they'd want to keep better records. So, I'm conflicted on the whole old world thing, but I know that there was more influence going on pre-Columbus than they're telling us.
Oh,
And
hell
they're
yeah.
probably
Absolutely.
post-Columbus too.
His whole story is bullshit too.
Bingo.
You know,
Oh, for
because
sure.
the Moors were actually
Imagine
the first
that.
settlers here, I believe. And there's probably people before the Moors.
Yo, even the Mormons claim to have been here before him.
No, the Moors. The
No, but I'm just saying, even Mormons claim to have
oh
been
yeah.
here.
Albeit been here before Christopher Columbus. Yeah, that whole story. I mean, what we were taught in school, 90% of it was lies. No, all the bullshit we were taught. It's just
Isn't
funny
it crazy to
looking
look
back now.
back?
Oh God! Ever since I become in the last couple of years, really, I'm new to it. But I look back and now, like, I see my daughter coming home, and I mean, she just learned about like not the details of 9/11, but on September 11th, they kind of like learned about the story and the history. And I wanted to tell her, I was like, I really wanted to tell her the dark truth.
Did they show her loose change 9/11, or they just showed her
Nah,
some other
right.
bullshit?
Yeah, definitely not.
That was good.
But,
I think you should still tell her. I think you should still tell her, like, educate her slowly, just to let her make the decision on her own whether she wants to believe it or not. But I always thought, I mean, I think it was 8th grade going into 9th grade when I found out like school was bullshit. And they're like sitting there, okay, you're getting ready to go the four most important years of your life, and they're going through like the point system on how you graduate. And I'm thinking, I could literally fuck off for half of the 4 years and still graduate on time. So
Right.
it's exactly what I did. We had the 4x4 schedule. I'm old, so I don't know if anybody else had that, but us hillbillies down here in Florida did. And and then you go to college, it's the same stuff. Same stuff. You're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to listen to the same stuff you learned in 9th grade. It's just it's all
Hey, you don't use half the shit.
How much of the math we learned, like all the geometry and bullshit. What was the other big math, like the 11th grade math?
Calculus and all that bullshit.
How much of that are you actually using? And the old saying was, you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket. They used to say to us back when we were in high school.
Now we do.
Now look at us. Now look what we have in our pocket.
Got
We got
fucking the world in
everything
our
we need.
hand, in the palm of our hands.
That's it, man.
It's fucking craziness. So
Well, it's funny.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Plato actually complained that now that everybody was writing stuff down, everybody's memories had gone to shit. And before writing, everybody had to remember absolutely everything. So they had much better memory. So in some ways, technology has had this effect on us. It kind of makes us dependent and stupid. And now we're going into the age of AI. And if you follow that trend, that's not
even worse.
promising.
You hit the nail on the head, because how many phone numbers did you memorize back when you were a kid? And now, I mean, I barely remember my wife's phone number if I need to know it when I don't have my cell phone on me. It's terrible to say, but I know it, but I have to kind of like piece it together, It's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I still know my phone number growing up, though. My house number. My parents don't still have that.
Yeah, I know all my friends and everything I grew up with too.
I remember that shit. Oh man.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
But yeah, you couldn't remember something on the fucking grocery list from 5 minutes ago.
I go to the store. I already wanted to go for.
I always have my wife text me what we need just so I got it on the fucking phone. That's the move.
I do look back now, and I mean, it is kind of.
I miss it.
I was gonna say, you think about those days, and I do miss those days. But then you think, well, what would you do with it? I use the phone so much for directions, GPS, Waze, like just basics.
Certain shit, sure, but that's because you became accustomed to it.
When you used to drive plate, I mean, so when we got our license back in 99, 2000s, they didn't have cell phones. So what did we really? I remember when I went to visit my girlfriend. She was up at Sagandaga Lake, and I mean, it was her dad's camp, and he gave me the directions, and I was writing them down word for word. It was like, okay, you're gonna see this, the sign, take a right 5 miles, and you're gonna take a left, and I'm setting my speedometer. You know what I mean? Actually looking, like I had to get to exactly 5 miles to where that road was going to be. I mean, that was the shit we did. And then we had maps. I mean, I remember looking at maps, driving home from New York City, coming home from the baseball games, and actually having Brad look at a map to get us home. I mean, it's crazy how things have changed in just 30 years.
Yeah.
It's tech, man. Well, let's get back to some fucking some occult shit here.
Sure.
So when you guys started diving into it, did you guys start to notice like things standing out, like once you knew what a symbol was? Like I noticed, like I have an 8-year-old that haven't watched Disney movies in forever prior to her, but when I started watching Disney movies, I started seeing symbols. I started seeing certain things you've seen like on the the PF files board there, you would start to see those symbols in Disney movies. Did you guys start, once you got into it, did you start noticing symbols as well?
For me, I think like before I got into the occult, I was like a conspiracy theorist first. And I followed a lot of people that touched on the occult, which is what kind of brought me into getting interested in it. So like I already had that kind of an idea already, but I will say like when I joined the OTO and I got into that, I got heavily into like, practicing. Like I took it serious. It became my life. And I really wasn't listening to conspiracy podcasts. If I was listening to anything, it was probably stuff to do with magic or the books that I was reading, audiobooks. So I kind of like wasn't really big in the conspiracy community. But like once I left and came back and started looking at conspiracy stuff, just at politics at the time, because I kind of left around the whole COVID thing in 2000. I was like, yo, this fucking shit is rampant. It's fucking all over the place in my face. I was like, did I not notice this last? Like, well, what the fuck? That's even one of the reasons why I started the show, is because how I just thought it was so dominant amongst politics at that time. And I was just like, oh, all these people are acting crazy out there because of magic, fucking witchcraft and magicians. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I mean, I definitely noticed it a lot worse after that fact.
So the OTO, is that like Scientology?
I mean, I wouldn't look at it like that, but I mean, who knows? Maybe there is some sort of commonalities. Yeah, I mean, I guess, I mean, Crowley he did know, I guess, the guy from Scientology. So, but no, it's a secret society that has initiations. It was originally Freemasonic, and
that's my next question.
Yeah, they Theodore Roos and two other guys made it. They were Freemasons, and at some point, I think they read Crowley's Book of the Law, and they were like, "Oh wow, you're like talking about our stuff and telling our secrets." And this is the story. I don't know how truthful it is. And then they got in touch with him, and he's like, "I don't even know who you guys are." And then eventually, I think they met up, and somehow they handed the order over to him. He knocked out most of the initiations and dropped them down to 13, which is Minerval and 12 other degrees. And he based it on the Book of the Law. He changed a few things around. I'm sure aesthetically inside the lodge, the shit got changed. Or whatever place you're in, a camp or oasis. And it's a little bit different with that, where it's, I mean, one thing with that, you walk in, it's ceremonial magic in your face. They would never show you that shit in Scientology. And if they're doing it, they're not going to tell you it's that. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's a big difference. I mean, exactly what's going on. If you want to practice magic and ceremonial magic, that's the only reason you're going to go to that place. I can't see how any other reason you go there or find out about it, unless that's what you were into.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the OTO at all, so I'm going to dive into that a little bit.
It's based on Aleister Crowley's like Thelemic magic and his ideas. I wasn't a huge fan of him. It was the only order like that was close to me, so that was the reason I joined it. I do think, in occultism, he was a genius. I will give him that credit, but I'm sure he was a degenerate. So I mean, I joined that basically because I was starting to get into the occult. Started reading books, and I even noticed discrepancies in books. Like somebody was referencing Liber Resh by Crowley, and I had Liber Resh by Crowley with me, and I'm like, well, how come you're not doing it the same way? It's in his fucking words. So it was like, I was like, damn, I'm like, you even got to worry about this shit. So again, like the OTO was the only place around, but I was like, you know what? Instead of reading these books, maybe I'll join an order, because most of these orders kind of have like set things that they suggest, like the OTO. Most people there will suggest the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram and the hexagram type stuff, maybe certain meditations. Now that stuff comes from the Golden Dawn, but they do like suggest like doing that shit like as soon as you walk in. I mean, maybe not the hexagram ritual, but I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, the OTO like has like their own like, and then they have Thelemic magic, where that's the rituals that Crowley wrote. Star Ruby, Resh, oh God, I'm forgetting, but he has two other ones that he wrote too. So I mean, you do have like a mixture of other things. You have Golden Dawn practice, his practices in there as well. It's a pretty big like mixture of a lot of different types of people.
That's interesting. I have to dive into that one. That's an interesting one there. I never even. I mean, I might have heard of it, but I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, I'm surprised because like neither between him, Michael Aquino, it's like those two are fucking responsible for everything.
Yeah. Damn. I was watching.
You're muted.
I'm actually
Shine, you're muted. Just trying to say
Thank
something.
you. Yeah, so if you hop into that Crowley stuff, you start to realize like this guy might have been like an agent for Britain during the World War One and World War Two, and like he could have been responsible to kick off those wars. And he actually rode across the Atlantic on the Lusitania to meet with a bunch of Germans in America and tell them, hey, you've got to send a message to these Americans to keep them out of the war. Why don't you blow up this boat? And so this Crowley guy is sort of central to all of these conspiracies, while at the same time being an occultist. Now, lots of people in the conspiracy world try to unite those two ideas, but occultism and spy and espionage work has gone back hundreds of years. He thought he was the reincarnation of Edward Kelly, which Edward Kelly and John Dee were mystics from the 1500s. And John Dee was a spy, and he was really good at math, and he created this system called the Enochian magic. So really, these occultists are at the epicenter of these major political events, and it brings a lot of attention to the occult. And a lot of people are like, well, what's going on with that stuff over there with all the guys doing the weird dances and dressing up strange and making symbols in the air and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say that is a huge other thing about Crowley too. I mean, his intelligence. I mean, there's huge intelligence ties with, I'm sure multiple countries. So it's like, who even knows what the fuck's true? I would even honestly say, and I'm sure Hellas would agree with me, like magicians like him, like people like that high up or understanding, they'd be perfect candidates for intelligence. I just hate to say it. They'd be great for intelligence.
Right.
It's just recruiting too, even for like a recruiting tool as well. Get people to buy in.
Yeah, I mean, they how do you want people to react? I got you. How do you want people pissed off today? I got you. You know what I'm saying? They'll know exactly how to twist the mental fucking mind and get people to react. And they can also cipher shit and send stuff to people that nobody would even understand.
Ritual magic is about manipulation of affect, words, and beliefs, right? So all three of those things are necessary when you're trying to gather information. I mean, especially affect. If you can keep your cool in a tough situation and you have that emotional control, you're in, right? And so all of that does come through, a rigorous interpretation of ritual magic. Is you have to memorize this stuff. You have to be able to change the energy.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Mike. What were you gonna say?
Was there what's the lady that's in Hollywood? Is she authentic? What's her name? Clothing line.
Oh
yeah.
She's always with Rihanna.
Not Ariana Grande.
No.
She's with everybody. You see her in all the photos.
The one with the black fingernails, or
yeah,
in there, like she's like the lady in Hollywood.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the older lady, and then her husband, I think, runs like a dark clothing line. I forgot.
Yes,
right.
She's like a witch.
I think a lot of people are into the symbology, right? I wouldn't necessarily say that they're into ritual magic. They could be, but generally, when you have people who are into ritual magic, it's like I don't know. It's more like a performance thing. Maybe she is into it because of the performance angle, but it's all about how you present to the world. So there's a definite possibility.
Michelle LeMay. Mike, look her up. That's who you're thinking of.
Yeah, because she's close to like the Kardashians and their alleged like witches and shit.
Especially
yeah.
all the and
there's
all the rappers.
There's a theory that their grandmother or something was a witch, and she put a curse on anybody that dated her grandchildren and hurt them or something to that extent. Well, even think about her grandson. When he was with that Black China, or whatever the hell her name was, she's all messed up now. And every single dude the Kardashians dated is an absolute shit show. So
yeah,
let's
talk about Hollywood and the occult. I mean, shit, it's like everyone, right? It's like you're always seeing these hand symbols on whether it's a Tonight Show or even the award ceremonies. Sometimes got the symbols
all over
going
the
on.
words.
It's
all over.
It is.
Or
man.
even like some of the performers are even tied to cults and the occult themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
I do think in Hollywood, especially the music industry too. I do think I think some bands out there might exist to even like to fund cults or weird belief systems.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah, not to bring up the Process Church, but I do like wonder about them. I think they have like, things out in public trying to make money. There's a couple other, who was that cult that me, you, and JJ covered that was down? Dwight York. Who was that band with Hey Ya? They had that song, Hey Ya.
Oh,
Outcast?
yeah. Outcast, yeah.
Yeah, those guys. I mean, they're performing at these public things, but yet they're tied to a UFO, alien cargo cult. That
Egyptian cargo cult.
And nobody knows this shit.
what about Travis?
That makes
Travis
sense
Scott?
because of the way that Andre 3000 acted. Now he walks around like playing the flute and just like walking around the streets of LA.
He's weird, dude. Yeah,
he's out there.
Owls. I mean, come on. Yeah.
But then you had go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Headless.
He actually took his drone out and was getting footage of the place in New York. They own like a whole city block that they've made out into this like sort of a pseudo-Egyptian motif out front. So he was out there just filming. They come out and they're like yelling at him, trying to be gangsters and stuff. He's like, I just like what I'm looking at, so I thought I'd film it. So it's kind of interesting. They're still in effect up there. Where was that, Nick? I don't remember. Bronx?
Where? Say that again.
The Bronx. You went out to the place with your drone.
Oh yeah. That was in in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Brooklyn.
That shit was wild, dude. Yeah. The guy came running out with the fucking camera, like his phone in his hand, and I was like, I even was busting his balls. I was like, "Yo, we live on Instagram right now?" I was like, "Can you tag me?" I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like he was a toothpick too. Like no offense, it was like the skinny guy. It's like his clothes probably weighed more than him. Like running up to me with this phone, I was like, "Oh God, here we go."
Those are the ones though. He probably just took his mask off a couple weeks ago.
Nick, are you from New York? Where are you from?
I was originally from New York before I moved to North Carolina. I grew up in Suffolk County.
Okay.
And I was living in Nassau right before I left.
No doubt. You got the accent from New York still.
Even after I started talking to that guy, again, I hate to be it, but like an occultist, like you're gonna understand people because you've looked at yourself through shadow work. So I could already tell like somebody like this, it's like I just got to show like some interest or compliment their fucking weird shit. They'll probably think I'm cool. So he was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, look at I was like, yo, this architecture is amazing. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, whatever. I said, this shit's beautiful. I said, and I showed him my tattoos. I said, I'm into the occult. I said, this stuff is beautiful to me. But I was filming this shit to do an episode on it because they're fucking weirdos. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm telling him that. So then this kid gets interested, and he starts spitting shit out that I was able to actually go and look online and was like, holy fuck, this guy just gave me shit for the show. He's like, Wu-Tang's been here. Jay-Z was in his music video. The first music video he was ever in was filmed in this lodge. He's talking about like Prodigy was a part of fucking this thing. These people are a part of this thing. And I was like, what the fuck? And I looked some of these people up, and you actually find like the guy was telling the truth. And I was like, oh man, I was like, thanks, dude. Like, and it's funny because I knew exactly what he wanted to hear. The guy had fucking diarrhea of the mouth. He was even telling me, you can come back on Sundays and the public is allowed in, and you can come in and we'll show you around.
Damn.
And he went at first with him running up to me with his phone. He at first started off with him running up to me with his phone, acting all hard. To when I left, he was inviting me to come back. I knew exactly what that guy wanted to hear.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He wanted you to join that shit.
Yeah. And then like he started. Did you ever hear of Dr. Dwight York or whatever they call him? I think they call him a doctor. I was like, no idea. I knew exactly who the fuck the guy was. So then he starts going into like UFO, starts going into conspiracy theories, and that I was able to, spitball with him. So that like got him all excited. He's like, oh, you're into that stuff? So yeah.
Yeah, what's the UFO cult that Andre 3000 and Outcast?
I think it was that with the one with Dwight York and them.
Okay.
Yeah, they somehow they incorporate aliens into it. I can't exactly tell you the full story. It's been a while since I covered it.
Yeah, because I remember hearing some. I think Jay-Z might be.
Yeah. Prodigy.
Prodigy did an
interview. Prodigy did an interview with some magazine company. You could probably look up Prodigy interview with
XXL probably.
And he even states that supposedly through the grapevine, it was Jay-Z and the guy who was running the cult's son that set up this guy to get busted. And Jay-Z did it. Yo, who the guy who did Blade again?
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley
Snipes. He's in it. The one of the ways he got busted with his tax shit is because they noticed him donating a fuck ton of money to that shit.
Was it
Or
Prodigy?
spend that amount of money like on the compound, and like and then that's how they ended up like getting him with IRS shit because they were looking at his money.
Was it not? Go ahead,
if you really look at Jay-Z's career, he didn't blow up until he got with Beyonce. Like
he was
popular, but his sales and everything else didn't go. And then why does every single Hollywood celebrity when they win an award thank Beyonce?
Yo, you know what? It was interesting. Somebody was kind of covering this, how she's the more important one, and this blew my mind because it's like I guess like when you hear shit get promoted, you just assume it's hot. Or if his shit gets played over and over again, you must assume it's hot. But they were actually showing his sales compared to other rappers over the years on the same years, and people did better than him. Believe it or not, he actually, he may not sell. They were just showing going record sales. He actually isn't that fucking great. But for some reason, everybody thinks everybody buys his shit. I think they were showing how 50 Cent was even beating him with record sales. Right.
So I just want to before I forget, you were talking about Prodigy from Mobb Deep, right? Name Prodigy.
Yeah.
He was the one. He was supposedly he died choking on an egg, but he was supposedly gonna come out with some like child pedophilia ring or something, right? I think I
might have been that fucking thing because he was talking about that shit in jail.
Yep.
And so, like, who chokes on an egg? Really?
No, he was gonna expose shit. Yeah,
even the Locks was involved with them. Yo, you know who? This was crazy. I had to give this up to it wasn't my find, it was Teresa. She had watched the David Chappelle, one of his stand-ups. And at the end of it, she just let it roll. And at the end of it, like it even showed like his name or the way they show his logo, but then it was like in the red, green, and black or something like that. It was in these specific colors. And then like if you wait a minute, somebody just comes out and says at the crossroad with the keys, like this line. And for some reason she remembered it and she's like, that's interesting. She went and Googled it. That was that was lyrics to the band that had Jay-Z in the video for his first time filmed inside of that fucking building I went to in Brooklyn.
Oh shit.
So now you even have Dave Chappelle showing at the end of his show him, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, she found that connection. I was like, yo, how many of these motherfuckers are into this fucking crazy motherfucker?
Yeah, because I think Beyonce's big into like the witchcraft type, and that's like she's something. Because all these literally, if you go, there's a whole video, and they continue to do it. They don't even like hold back now. I want to thank Beyonce. Thanking Beyonce for what? What did she do? Because she sang a song like.
Well, she's not the first. She's not the first sort of occult witch goddess queen that Hollywood has had. Back in the 1960s, you had a woman named Tuesday Weld. And all of these bands and all of these people made all this stuff devoted specifically to Tuesday Weld. Now, this is the cousin of Bill Weld, the former governor of Massachusetts, right? So she has a very old money sort of old world family. And she's coming into Hollywood and they're worshiping this person as like this, some sort of witch goddess. And she's actually making other people into this cult that she's sort of keeping around herself. So this thing has been an ongoing kind of reality when it comes to the religions in Hollywood. There's an unspoken hierarchy that you kind of get to see when they're making their thank yous, right? It's not something they're going to tell you about in an interview, but it's something you're going to see when they're saying thank you.
And then back in the day when they would joke, and you always see the clip where they joke about the pizza with Jennifer Aniston and Ellen and all that shit, like the hidden messages all the messages they put in that shit.
So many of my childhood favorites. So disappointed.
They say because allegedly the cast from Friends would do satanic rituals before every episode.
I'd believe that.
I could see Aniston's into some crazy shit, allegedly.
Yeah, and then didn't the one guy what was his name, Matt or whatever? Die in a hot tub.
He died,
overdose
with a
little.
Yeah, that guy had some demons in him.
He's
dealing with some. Yeah, for sure.
Literally.
Yeah, I just told the kid I work with. He's like, yeah, my favorite show growing up was Seinfeld. I go, you know, he was dating when he was like 40. He was dating like a 15-year-old, right? He's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, bro. He's one of them. He goes,
Nobody
no,
knows that.
nobody
Jerry
knows
was.
about that.
Jerry
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Ugh,
dude. Like went to like
Or
picked her up
what
from
about,
prom and shit, dude.
fucking weirdo.
So
and
weird.
what about
But
Bob
yeah, it
Saget
was on
from
the
Full House?
it was on the news and it was in the public eye, like, and no one's like just brushed it off. Even this is in the 90s, early 2000s.
That was so common, especially if you look back at stars like Brooke Shields, where it's like,
Mhm.
what are you doing
poor
putting
girl.
this
Remember
yeah,
that?
this child in all of these different like nudie mags and stuff? And it's like, what are you thinking? And
Mhm.
everybody just let it go. Nobody had anything to say about it. It's just very odd, very strange behavior.
Was she the one in that movie too, with the
Lula
where they
Goon,
got stranded
yeah.
on the island? 'Cause she
Yeah.
was nude in that, and she was only like 15, right? Wasn't that a big controversy?
13. Right.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. It's crazy.
Imagine that shit nowadays would be a fucking uproar. But it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it was no problem.
They were just looking to see what they could get away with. And I think a lot of that stuff raised a lot of people's eyebrows back then, but it was more like a testing phase. Now everything's sort of ironed out and they just manufacture any kind of controversy that you would ever want to see within all of these different worlds of, Hollywood, sports, different crossovers between them. And you've got the entire public's attention on basically the show. It is the entertainment industry.
Yeah. Sports is interesting too, because you ever see
Pushing
Nick, you were
agenda.
doing your gematria. Did you ever see the correlation to like with the big game Super Bowl coming up? A lot of times people dive into gematria to predict who's going to win the Super Bowl. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, there's a dude that I have on the show every once in a while that does that. I don't even know. Maybe Zachary Hubbard might do that too. I don't know, but I know that kid AJ does. So yeah, I have seen people do that. Yeah, they do like sports betting and stuff. But I think the people I know that do it on like their Patreon. It's like that's not free shit.
Yeah, no, it's deep diving into gematria. My favorite person to watch on that is Larry Johnson, the former running back used to play for the Kansas City Chiefs back in the day from Penn State. He's big in the gematria and he's not afraid to
That's interesting.
kind of expose a little bit about the dark secrets of the NFL too. So
Oh, that is cool as shit.
yeah, Larry Johnson too is
I'm
his
gonna check that
handle.
out.
Yeah, it's crazy because he ties a lot of shit. Like when the Kobe incident happened, he had all different types of gematria leading back to 13 and 77 and 93, like all these different
93.
numbers. Yep. All these different numbers that were popping up. Like it was insane because that whole Kobe conspiracy is wild as well.
That 93 is the Golden Dawn number.
Flight 93.
No, the OTO.
It's the
It's like
OTO.
OTO. Use that.
Flight 93.
Yeah,
Yep.
yo, you know what was weird? All those planes from 9/11, every single one. Well, 93 is associated with Crowley, but like all the other ones are even numbered. But like Crowley has a lot of most of his books are Libras, whatever, and it could even be a name. It could be Libra Resh. There's still going to be a number value to it. All of those planes are associated. Yeah, 777 was one of them.
Yeah.
All of them match book numbers of his.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. I think Libra Astarte was it was. I think that one, the number value of that was even one of the books that he wrote. And that one, I will say, inside of it has nothing negative or bad, but it is ways of you giving devotion to whatever deities you're working with. Or what do they call that when you give up your offerings? You know what I'm saying? So like it didn't have anything negative in there, like killing anything or blood or shit like that. It was a lot of just, whatever, like just other stuff, herbs and music or whatever. So, but I did find that weird that the one that's like, how to give offerings to gods is one of the books that hit the fucking building. Like that's like, geez, really?
There's so many ties to gematria with 9/11. So many. Yeah, Larry Johnson's a good one to follow for some gematria shit. But with the sports, we actually, not to name any names, Anthony, we had a former professional athlete on one of our podcasts, and he was telling us how not necessarily the game was rigged, but the referees control the outcome. if that makes sense. He goes, they're the ones that kind of, it's not the players really that are, maybe, you know, certain games the players are on the take, but not necessarily the players are on the take. Yeah, it's the officials who are going to control the outcome.
Well, and you had that one guy that got caught, the NBA, Donahue. Yeah, he got busted for it, and it is so true because I mean, even in NFL, the matter of throwing one flag can make the difference in a game. You know, like every play there's holding, every play, or there's, you know, touchy pass interference. You know what I mean? So it's like they really can control the outcome in almost any sport.
Go back to the 02 Fiesta Bowl, my Hurricanes, because we're finally back in the national championship 24 years later.
Shout out Hurricanes.
Because of a fucking bullshit pass interference call that changed the outcome of that game.
Yeah, you don't know how much money Vegas had on one side, and you know they control it. But yeah,
just entertainment.
Do you guys want to know how I know specifically we're living in one of the most controlled time periods imaginable?
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I would love it.
All of the sports betting, all of the betting apps in general. Look at Kalshi. You can bet on absolutely anything. It's legal everywhere now. That means that as soon as they make a decision, trillions of dollars could be on the line, because every single one of these things can start to, snowball into much bigger and bigger things. So everything would have to be controlled so that you can keep making money off of these small decisions that you could predict and then, sort of launder that money back to yourselves.
I think in another 10 years, man, there's going to be big problems with all these sports betting, gambling, casinos opening up. I mean, it's only the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I see it already. It's
because it's at the palm of their hands.
That's what it is. They should have just kept it where you either had to get a hold of your bookie, like old fashioned, make it a little difficult, or have to drive to a casino. Fact, it is in the palm of your hands. And like the thing that gets me is like you can't even watch a sports game now without them having a whole segment beforehand about gambling. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's so much money in it now. It's not going to go anywhere, that's for sure. But it's just
think about Back to the Future Part 2. Back to the Future Part 2, when Biff Tannen takes over the whole country, and that was a direct reference. Yeah, everywhere was betting, everywhere was casinos, and it was so much like Donald Trump, it's almost ridiculous.
Yeah, you're
almost
right.
Seemed like they based it off of him.
You're right.
And now we're seeing betting everywhere.
It all started though back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, when the Rothschilds took over the education system, took over obviously the banking system, all that. That's when it started. That's when the programming really locked in, and the big families came in, and the power structure began for the most part. I mean, there was always something there, but that's where we are, where we are today.
I think it goes back much, much further.
Yeah,
I think that's just the latest iteration. But have we ever considered the fact that 90% of the knowledge was wiped out from the classical world when they transitioned into Christianity? That's a great reset. So 90% of our information is now gone because they associated it with somebody else's gods or something, right? Some of these temples housed a lot of philosophical manuscripts that were going back hundreds of years. And so all of that stuff was burnt out. That was a lot of heritage right there. And what was Jesus preaching? He was preaching kind of a form of communism that wasn't native to Rome. So the communists kind of took over, burned all the information, and now we're going through it again. What did they call it? The Great Reset. They want to have another one of these inward-looking resets where we kind of attack ourselves until there's nothing left. And we see that rising up with communism and all the rest of these different, astroturfed ideologies. They're just propped up there to be used as kind of like a way of attacking the public. So how big is the matrix? I don't know. How far back does it go? Is it some sort of a social cycle? These are all really good questions that I don't think a lot of people are considering.
Didn't we have a guest on not too long ago that said that there was like 40,000 years missing. That we
Yeah.
can't account for. Who was that?
The
It was a
Mayans.
guest we
Didn't they
had
say
on.
the
Yeah.
Mayans took out? Was it the Mayans that took out the years?
What was that gas though? I remember that. Who was that?
It was like 200
totally
years.
totally blew our mind. Yeah.
I think it was the Tartarian explorer.
Might have been.
Could have been.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was. I could be
Yeah.
wrong,
I mean, I don't doubt it either. I mean, they tried to hide the floods, the great floods, and say it was something completely different. So, I mean, everything's a lie. Everything in the books are a lie. And
Well, it's funny the
People believe
calendars
it,
keep
though.
getting worse for some reason, right? Like the
Mhm.
ancient calendars were really, really accurate, but what we have today are way off of all of these ancient calculations. How are they making those calculations back then? If you think about Stonehenge and all of these other places where it's, like all of these things are aligned with these, crossings of the planets at specific parts of the year, but now it's off. It's out of sync. It's not in the same sort of dimension if you think about it, because now we're not in the same relationship to the sun that we used to be. So something is changing. Maybe our alignment is creating a misalignment within us.
I mean, yeah.
very well
Do you
could
think
be
we
for
switched?
sure.
Do you think we switched timelines or switched what? What they
Constantly.
say constantly? You think we do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it, there have to be some sort of energetic repercussions when you're working with the kind of masses that they're playing with out at these atom smashers. I mean, they're significantly changing the energetic ambience of the planet. And electromagnetics carry a lot of information. We're actually tapped into the electromagnetic grid of the earth with our brains. So if you're going to mess with that kind of stuff with these high energy experiments, yeah, you're going to be messing with timelines. Like, do we know the full potential of the human brain? Can we see or experience maybe other branches and possibly multi dimensions?
Dimensions.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a wild thought, man.
Do you think the answers
you
to
think-
those
you think,
questions are in the Vatican? Locked away?
I don't know. It seems like it would be the ultimate tool because you could just sort of make the past whatever you want it to be.
I think that
Mhm.
stuff's possible with magic to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do actually. Yes. As crazy as that sounds, I actually do think that is possible. I even think that's a lot of what Back to the Future was showing. Especially the car's got to go 88 miles per hour. So much occult symbolism in that shit. The date that they went back, if you change the calendar, go back to the old calendar, it's like Elias Ashmole's birthday. I mean, I think Hellas was there too when we covered that. Like, you remember that they're like, how like towns will have that greeting board and it'll have like all those like fucking logos and signs. You have no idea what the fuck it is. All of them are all Masonic orders. It's like so much occult symbolism in that movie.
Dude,
They have a big reference to 9/11 at the end of the first movie too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Mhm.
it's crazy how these symbols keep transferring in these really interesting ways.
Yeah. They tell you what's going to happen for sure.
Go ahead, Mikey. You want to say something, Mike?
So you think CERN can hop us timelines or something of
I
that
think-
equivalent?
I think it can like merge consciousness, right? So if you think about the vastness of all these different multiverses, if you've got a way to create an energy variation that causes, what you think and what some other alternate dimension version of you is thinking, then you could believe that there is the cornucopia there with the fruit of the loom thing because it's been put into your head somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But whether it was
Mhm.
real and it's changed now, or whether it was never real and somehow it just happened as an artifact in your brain, how do we even know?
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
Messed up.
I was
It's-
like, how do we know like we're not dead already and we're just trapped inside of a computer at this point?
Right. Right.
Yeah, like, are
Like
we
the
in a
Matrix.
simulation? Are we?
I was going to say
Yeah, there's
Sims,
very
like
World War
somebody's
III,
controlling
we-
us.
I feel bad for the son of a bitch who got my fucking player character.
I did see one of those, like a stupid meme that said we all
Player
actually
one.
died in 2020 and we're all like living this crazy. Do you guys see that meme? This like
I've seen
crazy
stuff like
afterlife.
that, which is why I kind of said what I said. Yeah, like
Yeah.
for a while, for all we know, we're just fucking playing The Sims.
Oh,
I mean,
As soon as they turn that thing on, because that's when did they turn? Was it 2020 they turned that on?
It's been a
They did
while.
it-
I think
they
it's
do it every 6 years,
2005.
I think.
Oh, okay.
hey
I thought
Rod,
they
changes.
started doing trials.
Have you heard
2005.
of? And these gentlemen might know a little bit about them. I just came across it, and I don't know where I saw it. The
April
the Disney
2022.
Club 33, the
Oh,
private club
yeah.
at Disney. I want
Oh,
to
yeah.
hear about this. Like, it's a private club. 33. I mean, like, what is
33
it?
is the
Like,
33 in the third degree Mason.
well, I mean, yeah, I know that, but I mean, like, what's up
And
with this private club in Disney? Do you guys
Walt
know
was a
anything about it?
Mason.
I just remember seeing something. I think I watched like a half hour, 40-minute video on YouTube about it years ago.
Yeah. I
And
just saw this
I
like the
never
other
heard
night.
of it until I saw that. And I was like, wow. I was like, well, it's figures,
Yeah, me too.
Wasn't it even like mad expensive? Like they even had like I think like gourmet like
Huge.
pieces
It's
to-
like
Probably.
for a membership, you can't even get in there without a membership or be a guest of a member. Super elite.
Super private.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very hidden in the park.
And it's got a symbol. Like, the symbol is super. I mean, it's not a
Mhm.
Masonic symbol, but
I do
see if I
think one of the restaurants was actually on a restaurant show.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Like, yeah, and like the shit is like so like ridiculous. You can just tell like that's that bougie expensive stuff.
Well,
Mhm.
I know that
Well, when you took
he
Raj,
was
when you
not.
took your kid there, you saw a lot of symbols.
I've seen a lot. Yeah, I didn't see the 33. I didn't find the Club 33 though. I had no clue where that was.
Walt Disney, he wasn't a Freemason, but he was in the Demolay Kids, which is the equivalent of their like children's club for the Freemasons. And so, automatically that should be tossing red flags right there. It's like, wait a second, children's club for Freemasons, that's what he's in.
Right.
And now he's putting all this Masonic symbolism all over his movies and his animation. One of the main themes over and over again you see in the Disney movies is the checkerboard floors, which they have all over Club 33 as well.
Yep.
It's very Freemasonic. The checkerboard floors are all about that temple with no windows. Well, if they're putting that sort of Masonic symbolism in there, then you really got to dig into the Masonic symbols themselves to figure out what they're trying to say. So like the Magician's Apprentice, where you see Mickey Mouse sort of like as the master's away, he's playing, right? So this actually goes back to a lot of the type of imagery you see out in Bohemian Grove, right?
Mm.
So the sort of the master's gone, we're gonna have fun while we can, cares weaving spiders come not here. We're gonna be playing right now. And you see that same theme popping up again and again with Pinocchio, right? And Pinocchio goes to this island of lost children because he's so
Hey,
carefree.
take that down, Ant. You're gonna flag.
You got to be careful. But
That's true.
so yeah, if you take that sort of same carefree feeling, that eternal youth feeling that Disney's trying to produce, you get a lot of these Disney adults, totally stunted people who only go to Disney, every year. They're in this club. Their entire life is Disney. I don't think that they actually eat, sleep, or breathe outside of the Disney cult.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's just so mainstream and so in your face, nobody really even thinks of it like that. But the Disney adult phenomenon is huge. Like a lot of people are just inducted into that cult, cradle to grave.
Weirdos.
It's so true though, because when we were there, like you see a lot of it. Like, you see couples like sure on their honeymoon. Like we seen a couple. We were on rides like waiting in line. I seen a couple, young couples in their honeymoon, whatever. But then you've seen the older couples, and there's not really any kids around, and you're kind of sitting there looking. And it's like, damn, you go on vacation in your late 40s, early 50s to Disney, and they got the ears on, they got the goofy hat with the ears flapping, like the whole 9 yards. And it's like, you kind of look at that person, that dude's jabbed up to the max, got the booster shoved up his fucking sphincter, and enjoyed it. It's insane. Like
I see some lady that got a Disney wedding, and she's gotten one for like they renew their vows every year for like the past 15 years. She's spending like she said all their like savings for the year goes to like the Disney wedding. They're adults. Like I'm like, what are you guys doing at this point? Like I heard about them. Like I got to look these guys up, see what they look like, and they just totally fit the picture, man.
It's
If
crazy,
you
man.
there's this. Oh my god.
Fanny packs, the whole nine
Yep,
yards, dude.
exactly. Yep.
But yeah, you guys brought up Bohemian Grove. You think they're still? I mean, now that it's so exposed, do you still think they're doing the rituals up there? Or do you think they're finding new ways?
It's one of
to
those
do
things. I think a lot of what ritual magic is and how they test out these things and sort of induct it into society is over a long period of time. So it's like if you think about all of those rituals that they did out there as being sort of brought into society through pop music and all the rest of these different influences, they've already fully integrated their form of occultism or their ideas of society into our society subconsciously years and decades ago. So they're still doing the whole human sacrifice Canaanite Phoenician thing in our minds over and over again. This is why you've got the Moloch worship and all of these different owl symbols being related back to this other thing. It's almost like perverting other symbols, because if you know about the symbology of the owl, it was never associated with human sacrifice. That's something that they came up with out there in Bohemian Grove, and they just sort of let it out like a fart in church, in other words,
I seen something. I was a Tripoli episode, and I forget. I was listening to it not too long ago, but the state of California is also kind of shaped as an owl, and for like the ritual, because that's like one of their main hubs. Bohemian Grove being there and all that as well.
The whole club was started as a way for these artists to get together out in the woods and just be away from the rest of the city, because it was a lot more taboo to be homosexual back at that time. So it was a gay club to start out with, and the elite sort of gravitated towards that place because of the fact that it was so private. And so anywhere you've got a large degree of secrecy, that's where these people are going to flock to. That's their whole modus operandi, is the more secrecy, the more elites you have attracted to it. That's sort of how you keep things moving. And Bohemian Club was even commented on by Richard Nixon in his presidential tapes. He called it the effiest GD place he's ever seen. F being, another.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a major part of American history and culture that doesn't get enough attention, obviously. But a lot of very prominent people have come and gone through Bohemian Club that we would know every day, But again, they're not very open and public about it.
Well, but I bet a lot of them are at the Diddy parties.
You know it.
Mm-hmm. I think all the psyops and everything probably discussed that shit. Besides business moves.
I like that.
I do wonder that too.
Yeah,
because,
I would agree.
At some point, people got to agree on who's gonna pull what shit. I'm sure they're doing that together to strategize, because I do think so many of them are just involved together. I don't think one side is not working with the other side. I think it's all orchestrated.
Yep.
Like even right now, just my opinion. This is I don't know. I think they're really trying to get an egregore going with this fucking ice shit. They're really trying to get motherfuckers to really right now. Like this might even be worse than the George Floyd shit. I
think so too.
Yeah,
I think it's really gonna. They're looking to get martial law, and they're looking to start reeling it in, state by state, because it's gonna get out of control.
You know how long they've had fucking morons even mimicking that line right there? Martial law is the only way. I mean, they've had that fucking idea and energy floating around for so fucking long. Thanks to all those people. It's weird times. I mean, I think magically, black magic right now is unfucking. It's impressive.
It is scary times. It's fucking to wonder what the next 5 years. Because I mean, we think back, it's already 7 years pretty much since COVID hit. But in the next 5 years, where are we gonna be? What the fuck? Like with technology, number one, AI and everything else. Yeah. Just where's that gonna take us to? What do they got up their sleeves in the next 5?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, but the way that
our head out our ass and come together, there's gonna be a lot of crazy shit happening.
You're gonna have Jesus or a UFO in the next fucking couple of years.
Blue beam.
One of those, you know, either an alien or Jesus is going to be.
I don't think Blue Beam. I think they're actually really going to come, man. I don't think it's going to be a fake alien invasion. I think they're actually going to come. It's happening, man.
We were talking
eventually.
about we were talking about betting earlier, and now we're talking about either UFOs or Jesus. And there's actually a prop bet
On
that
Kalshi?
Jesus will be here in 2026, and there's like hundreds of millions of dollars on this bet that Jesus is going to come in. 2026.
That's
There we
wild.
go,
People
bud.
bet on anything.
People ain't
bro.
gonna give you a
Like-
bet on it. You're not probably not gonna get paid out if he's coming back.
Right.
We
Right.
go.
Well, right.
This is all just a great way to launder money, though. I mean, that's one of the things. If you've got a massive betting market, this is the best way to start burning off some of the cash that you don't want people looking into. So, keep it circulating.
Exactly.
It's that or a Minnesota
The money
daycare,
just
no
sits
doubt.
there.
Well,
Yeah.
they found like what $70 million was just flown straight out of the country in cash from these scams every year, just flown back to Somalia. And it's like,
Bullshit.
Mhm.
you have to know that people are getting their kickbacks. You can't go anywhere in the country with a stack of cash on you without getting harassed by some cop or some, border patrol agent. And they're just letting these people go in and out with millions and millions of dollars. Oh, I guess it's legal. When has that ever stopped the IRS from harassing people? They knew exactly what was going on for a
Mhm.
long time.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They were in on the take.
Right?
Yeah, this
That was just
I don't
like,
know. I don't
when
know how I
Maduro
feel.
got taken.
Yeah.
Right.
What's that, Mike?
When Maduro
Oh.
got taken, and Venezuelan officials sent out that list of all the U.S. politicians that were on the take.
Oh
So
yeah.
that- and they, just-
So
They
did
threw him
you-
under the bus.
Schumer and oh yeah,
Did you hear the one interview the weapon that was alleged used to where
direct energy weapon.
like a
Oh yeah. Yo, that thing is. I guarantee.
Supersonic.
I meant to go look into that. I guarantee you. I think I even covered that possibly on a show on a patent. We're like, yo, that's like nothing new. I hate to say that. Like I remember like I was just being kind of like a dick, like around like I don't know 2020, 2021 when shit was getting crazy. My part of my family is like crazy conservative. So my uncle's like thinking like people are gonna need their fucking guns. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. And I was like, yo, I hate to tell you, but I was like, your little fucking rifles and shotguns ain't gonna make matter to shit when they flip a switch and they make the water in your body vibrate so much that you just fall to the fucking floor in pain.
right.
I said, I was like, I hate to tell you, I'm not taking their side, but we're probably fucked if the government really wanted to fuck us in the ass.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we got a
Oh, yeah.
shot.
Like, did you
I'm
hear?
not trying to sound fucking
No,
horrible
the-
at it. But when
Didn't
have
they
that-
use it against
absolutely right,
protesters?
though.
They used it, and I think it was overseas. They used it in like London or something against protesters.
They
Like a
they
year,
use
year and
it
a half
against
ago.
protesters, and so one of the side effects of this radar is that it jams radio frequencies as well. So you could see during the riots they had this big blackout in Washington D.C. where everybody's phones were knocked out at the same time, and it's like they're using this electromagnetic pulse stuff, and they might not be targeting people in terms of like treating us like a microwave does, but they're definitely knocking out electronics. They could do either one with this stuff. It's the same sort of frequency. So it's microwave
Oh, yeah.
radiation. That's all they're using.
Yeah, there was an interview with like a head Venezuelan soldier, and they were like interviewing him
Yeah.
about like with the incident. And he said that like you just see him, you don't hear nothing, you see a couple drones, and then helicopters come down, and then the next thing that happens, he said it was unexplainable, but hundreds of his soldiers just started bleeding and throwing up as soon as they
Really?
used this weapon. And then he said hundreds died. And he said not a single U.S. military guy died. He said, but he said you see a flash or whatever, and then all of a sudden he looked over, and everybody's bleeding and throwing up. He
I've
said,
seen
"Whatever
that too. I've
machine
seen the
they have,
article.
Mm-hmm. And he even said he's like other leaders. He mentioned like Colombia and a couple others. He's like think twice before you like.
Yeah,
try
he
to
said
go
something
against the
about
US
they
because
said
have weapons
Mexico's
you can't touch.
Mexico being next. Don't mess with the U.S. or something. They have
I thought it
weapons
was
that you don't
Colombia.
want to touch.
I thought it was Colombia, or not Colombia.
Listen,
Yeah,
Look,
Colombia,
both.
Cuba.
He
Maybe.
wants both.
Who knows?
He
Trump
wants
don't give a
fucking
shit,
Greenland.
man. He wants to go out with a bang.
Fucking nuts.
He wants to go out with a bang. Putin wants to go out with a bang. You know what's coming, boys. World War III is on a tee. Getting ready
Do you guys
to
think?
hit right
Do you guys
now.
think Trump's in a cult? In the occult?
Yeah, I think he's
Oh, yeah.
big time. Yeah, I think they all are for most part. Yeah,
And if
You
they
think he's
aren't, their
he's
handlers
got to be
are.
high level, right? Right.
I
Well-
think he knows what he's doing. I think he's big into gematria because I do think that, like, a lot of the stuff, a lot of phrases and shit with QAnon, just when you start to look them up, they always seem to match whatever kind of fuckery is going on now. Like, I could probably type something in like that's going on with this situation, and somehow it's going to match like "Let's Go Brandon." You know what I'm saying? Like something to that degree, or it's gonna match Mar-a-Lago, or Donald
Right, like-
Trump. It's just like, oh, of course, like this weird shit due to associated with politics is also associated with him. It's just weird when you see shit like that with numbers.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I heard
General
doesn't MAGA
Flynn-
like mean sorcery in Latin or something or something?
They're like mage, it's like a
language.
degree at the temple
Yeah.
is said, I think, too.
like
Well,
casting spells.
General Flynn did a prayer up in front of a conservative audience where he's reading verbatim this prayer by this woman who was a theosophist, and this was a prayer about the sevenfold rays of light. And so he's repeating this in front of a bunch of Christians, but it's from a theosophist, which is not Christianity. It's something that sort of tries to unite all the different religions into one thing. It was really huge turn of the century in America. I don't know if you guys have heard of theosophy, but what was her name again? Elizabeth something?
Helena Blavatsky?
No. Elizabeth something. She was from the 1980s. Let me look it up.
Not sure. Sorry about that. Not sure.
I don't know.
Theosophy is pretty big. That's huge, actually. I
No
don't think
doubt.
it's that either. That's a thing that you'll see, probably like that in Gnosticism is probably kind of big symbolism within movies and shit too.
Yeah.
People
We-
catch.
We had Mark from My Family Thinks I'm Crazy on
Oh, nice.
one of our first episodes, and he got into Gnosticism. That was a good episode for anybody wanting to learn about that. Go back and check that episode out.
Yeah, episode
I got it
number
pulled
one,
up if you
right?
guys want to see it.
Yeah,
we
pull it
had
up.
one for, I think, German occultism or some shit like that. I can't remember. That was a fun show.
I got the Michael Flynn prayer. This one's crazy.
Oh, yeah. The seven rage play.
Instrument of those sevenfold rays and all your archangels, all of them.
I am here, O God, and I am the instrument of those sevenfold rays and archangels.
We will not retreat. We will not retreat. We will stand our ground.
And I will not retreat. I will take my stand.
We will not fear to speak. We will be the instrument of your will, whatever it is.
I will not fear to speak, and I will be the instrument of God's will, whatever it is.
In your name and the name of your legions.
Here I am, so help me God, in the name of Archangel Michael and his legions.
We are freeborn, and we shall remain freeborn.
I am freeborn, and I shall remain freeborn.
And we shall not be enslaved by any foe, within or without.
And I shall not be enslaved by any foe within or without.
Ooh.
that is wild.
So yeah, what is going on with that? Is he doing an occult ritual up on stage in front of everybody? And it sounded Christian, right? A little bit.
Sounded
Yeah.
well, Gnosticism can kind of get very have a Christian and Catholic look feel to it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, do you think
never
when
seen it.
even in the Christian religion, the Catholic
just-
religion, you think when they're in church, do you think those prayers are just spells that they're rituals they're doing anyway?
I think
Some are.
Yeah.
hugely ritualistic.
Definitely.
Catholicism is hugely ritualistic. I think. I mean, I don't know if those things that they're doing make any sense or works for them, but I do think.
Like, what's that?
What's that, Mike?
I'm looking something up.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I never seen them do anything like that in church. The churches I go to, that's for sure.
Oh, no, nothing like that. Yeah, I haven't seen that either. Oh, maybe
I
at a
never-
Baptist church, you might get some shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe.
Some wild shit. Wild shit. This is a good episode, boys. We appreciate it. I don't want to take up too much more of your guys' time.
Okay.
We appreciate you guys jumping on, man. Where can everybody find you guys?
Ellis, you want to promote your own stuff first?
Yeah, you can find me at the Headless Giant Podcast on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram as well. If you've got any sort of strange occult stories, send them to me at the Headless Giant Podcast at gmail.com, and me and Nick will read your emails on Thursday. It's a good time. We bring our symbols, and so you guys can participate learning about these new symbols that we've just discovered too. So check that out on Thursdays. And on Tuesdays, we do 777. We go over the Kabbalah of Aleister Crowley, which is very valuable if you're going to start to decode some of this conspiracy stuff that's going on around you. You got to know exactly what these guys were thinking because they had a big impact on it. So definitely check that out as well. Thank you.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, then we got the Occult Rejects, which Ellis is a part of that, and probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 other people. There's a couple of girls and a bunch of other guys on the show. And yeah, the Occult Rejects, that's BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, and all major podcasts. And I do also have occultresearchinstitute.org. I do forget about that to plug the website. That's a lot. If you're into reading, there's people on there that from the show, or even people that aren't on the show, that have like taken the time to add stuff to the site. And there's like a ton of shit that I have added, like on old prior occultists, alchemists, whatever you want to call them, mystics, saints, on there too, just to give you, ideas of like what they were into at the time they were around. It's heavily different than what most people think it is now. So,
what was that website one more time?
occultresearchinstitute.org.
Institute.
Yes. And yeah, definitely check that out. If people are into reading, there's a lot of shit on there to read. So yeah, we have all that going on. Thank you very much.
No, man, I appreciate you guys
coming. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, definitely get you guys back on in the future. Do some more lives, man. This was a good time. Bring some more of the crew on as we go, since you guys roll so deep.
For sure.
Yeah, I'd love to meet some of the other crew.
Oh yeah. We got some great characters to bring on for sure.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in here to another episode of Conspiracy Chaos. Check out the audio here first thing in the morning if you missed any of it. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget to check us out, Conspiracy Chaos, on Instagram, Twitter, X, on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday with another episode. Peace.
This is Conspiracy Chaos. Truth, fiction, or both?